Hey everyone, welcome to Hopcast.
Hey, thanks for traveling with us, everybody.
I'm Brad Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeder.
And we're out in Plainfield.
Plainfield, Illinois, just steps from where Mr. Brad Chmielewski grew up as a young boy.
Yes.
And now he's here drinking, so it's all paid off. But we're here at Finnegans Irish Pub, right downtown in Plainfield.
Yeah, right on the main strip.
And so this is Shannon McGrath. So thank you so much for showing us the place.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to have you guys.
And
awesome.
And you brought us some treats here, so thank you for that as well. Look at these lovely, lovely beers.
I'm very excited to try them.
It wasn't just for us. Like, I want some of that too. Exactly.
I was like, let's try that one.
Well, should we open one up and then talk?
Yeah, let's your choice. Which would you like to go with?
Let's start with the IPA.
All right. Not a bad choice at all.
The Anderson Valley IPA. It's their Anniversary IPA.
Mm-hmm. So
it's
that's
their Imperial IPA.
Looks like it's coming in around 9% there, so. What is your title here? What do you actually do?
I'm a server bartender.
Okay.
I do just about anything.
And
drinker.
Yes, exactly. Patron.
Speaking of that, we were talking with Dale earlier, and he was saying how with starting this whole craft beer movement here at Finnegans, each server and bartender is Cicerone certified. So
yeah, we're server Cicerone certified. We haven't. I would like to get up to the actual Cicerone, but you do the first initial test, and so to be hired here or after a few months you have to have it. So that you start learning, because you can come on and then we can kind of educate and teach you once you start trying the new beers, and so you learn about tasting them.
Speaking of
which, this is has quite an aroma on it.
Yeah, I can smell the hops.
Yeah, that's a fine beer. So it was kind of a tough sell at first, from what I gather, to turn the suburbanites onto the
exactly.
good beer.
You had most people that are coming in the originally Irish pub. You're like, all right, Guinness, Chmielewski, and Hart, and everyone starts with those. And then you're like, well, if you like a stout, how about this stout? And you're just like moving them up. Maybe like a Dragon's Milk, a little bourbon aged, get something new. And same thing, Harp is great for those introductory, getting people in. You're like, okay, it's an easy, nice lager. Then you can graduate maybe to like a wheat beer or Hefeweizen, something a little more flavor, and get them started into.
Yeah, Harp's a good beer. It's better than many other options that you can go.
We don't want to name them, but
in which case you guys don't even carry any of the macro stuff anymore, do you?
Nope. We decided that we were really having problems with distributors, and we were just thinking, you know what? Why not? Why are we carrying them anyway? We don't want to be selling them. So try and get people really. There's some real gateway beers that we have that you're really gonna start with, the Flying Dog Doggy Style, and just anything like that. That's a really nice, easy to drink beer.
So it seems like people have actually grasped onto this, because just walking up, this is our first time here. It's a beautiful building, by the way, but it's packed down there.
It's packed. We're upstairs because it's quiet. No one can come up here right now. Drink by ourselves.
We're in Dale's man cave. Nice enough to share with us.
Yeah, it's our little library.
And they do some gatherings here, and as you can see, they collect their trophies, much like us and most of you probably do as well.
All the good stuff we like to.
Yeah, we were told this was all books, and now it's all beer.
It's maybe a library, library of beer instead of books. We don't really have them alphabetized though, sadly.
Oh, that's when the real geekery comes in.
Yeah, when you start rearranging.
So how many taps are you guys flowing on?
We got 33 taps. So downstairs we've got 21, and then upstairs we've got 12. So we've got three nitrogen lines right now.
Wow.
Usually 2 are Guinness, and then we have rotating another nitrogen. Usually it's been Left Hand Milk Stout, or we've had Old Number 38, and just different stuff.
Those are both excellent on the nitro.
Oh yeah,
good choice.
With all the taps, you guys have a big bottle list as well, right?
Oh yeah, we are about 191 bottles right now. We've slowly grown from, we initially started around 100, and it's just kind of adjusting, you find what sells, what people are really liking, and when you can get more stuff, you just keep.
Is it overwhelming for some of the people that come in here that are looking for the Miller Lite? And you give them this 100-page?
Yeah, we have a 4-page beer list, and people look at it and they're like, so you have to be, as a server or bartender, you have to make it approachable. You have to be like, don't be afraid.
Yes, right.
Really, this stuff is good.
It's like me looking at a wine list. I'm like, I'll have a red one. And then I like hate myself because I know that person that's into wine is looking at me like I look at other people. Like, you dipshit.
No, you go to the middle and you go too cheaper, right?
It's all based on price.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know, and the same thing. You're gonna have your bottles of beer that are like $30, and people look at it and they're like, a bottle of beer, $30, and you're like.
But you're well on your way because you've built that clientele where people are now appreciating it and know what they're getting, and they're willing to spend the money. So that's great.
It was unbelievable when we had Sam Adams Utopias. How many people were like, 2-ounce pours, done.
Wow.
We'll take it. Just because it's one of those beers that. How many times are you going to try that in your life?
Right.
Yeah, we recently opened a bottle and had it ourselves for the 100th Hopcast. Make sure you watch that.
I think that was a shout out to ourselves.
It's like on tweet. I'm going to at myself.
Right.
But this Anderson Valley was awesome. It's
very nice.
Yeah, it's got a pretty big malt.
It does. The malt stands up to because there's going to be a ton of hops in it, but the malt's certainly there too.
And on the finish, there's a little bit of a kick, I think, I found.
Those $30 beers we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah, well, explain because we've actually never had any of these beers.
I haven't either, so.
So it's going to be. Explain to us what this new one from Ommegang is.
Well, it's a Flemish sour, so I think sours are really coming. A lot of people are starting to be turned on to them. I know I am. I was really, before this year, I was never really too much, tried a few, but they're really coming about. And so this is Ommegang Zuur.
And this is new from them, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I haven't seen that one.
I love the color on that.
Yeah, poured out, basically like your traditional Flemish red. It has a lot of those same characteristics of a typical nose you'd find too. Nice, and it's got a little bit of tartness on the nose, but fairly
Not
sweet.
Overly, yeah.
Oh
wow.
Gets you right in the back of the throat there, though. That's nice.
It's got some good.
And it has like a bready finish to it as well. It's kind of
the maltiness.
Sometimes you get some of these sours can be just kind of one note, where it's just sour.
Oh yeah.
I don't find that to be the case with this one.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, it's got some more going on. It's pretty dry and kind of nice maltiness to it.
Yeah, finished with like a little bit of toastiness.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I like this beer a lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot of like some of the fruit-based sours that are out there. It's it's a pretty nice, just normal straight sour instead of being like really one like the peach or anything like that you get.
So you get a lot of people that are accepting these type of beers too. It's one thing if they're going for the IPAs and the stouts, and they're turning on to the sours.
I think a little bit. I think we had Festina Passion, and that was you'd get people going from like, oh, you're having a tangerine wheat, a little bit of fruit, maybe try this one, and it was a lot of people were definitely. It was like at first you're gonna get people very different. They're kind of opposed to it, but then you get the people that are like, oh, this is actually really, really good. And you're like, yeah, it's a sour. It's a different style than you're used to. When most people are approaching a beer, they're not used to it being sour at all like that. You're used to maybe the bitterness of a hoppy beer, or
right?
Sweetness or bourbonness, those kind of things. But
that style in and of itself, I feel like the Berliner Weiss is a pretty nice gateway to sours.
Oh yeah.
Or the other sours, Gooses and Lambics and stuff like that. But yeah, and that's a phenomenal beer, and especially since it does have the fruit in it, I can see a lot of people opening up to that.
Yeah, instead of just, and then we just got the La Folie, we started getting a little bit of that. So it's like, okay, maybe if you get into Festina Pesh, you can get into, something else, another sour for you.
More great stuff.
Yeah, that was one of my first sours that I was like, oh, I could drink this forever.
Oh, if only.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's hard to sell sometimes because you saw people pouring it out, or you were at bars.
Yeah, I had I used to live up by Mickey Finn's in Libertyville, and so I, would be driving around at work and saw that on Beer Advocate that they had a new sour on, and I was like, whoa. They do? That's incredible. So I went in and tried it, and it was really, really good. And so I'm asking the bartender about it, and he's like, well, you know what? We tried not to even sell it because because it comes back probably 99 out of 100 times, and we have to just dump it down the drain. I'm like, oh my God. It just like hurt my soul. Like it went past my heart and hurt my soul. So yeah, I stayed there, and I was like, okay, well, if people don't want them, just send them my way,
Save them all to the side for me.
Put them in a little pitcher.
And I called Brad, and he was very upset that he had to drive an hour up north to come in.
You're right.
Turned out that well, huh? It's tough. I know you, and that's the best thing about having so many draft lines, is because draft is easy. You sample.
Right.
You can give anyone a taste of anything. It's a little bit harder to sell it with the bottles. And when you're talking a bomber bottle too, people are like, and so you have to be like, oh, share them. That's
Let me sample
way.
this before I spend $30 on it.
Exactly. So, but it's best. I love sharing. That's the best thing about, bomber beer. My brother and I always if we got something new, we're like, yes.
Yeah.
Hang out and just
craft
share
beer
it off.
community's all about, man.
Everyone's like, oh, you got to try this new one, and it's the perfect thing. Especially, and that's the best thing about I think our staff too, is we'll be here. People will stop in all the time on their when they're day off or after their shift, they grab a shift beer, and then they're like, oh, we're hanging out, and there's other people that'll come in, and you just start sharing beers and trying and talking about them. And
are they just drunks?
No, we're craft beer lovers.
I love this facade that we all hide behind.
If I'm not working, I come in to drink.
But Finnegans, a great place to drink and great place to work.
Like, oh, a new beer, and guess I have to try it.
That's right. You're educating yourself so that you can
Yes, that's it.
sell to the customers.
It's all in the sake of education.
But yeah, you don't want to be the only person to open a bomber and finish it yourself. And be like, I had this great one. So
I can't tell anybody about it.
You don't know what it tastes like, but...
So, what's going on next? What's in the works? Any plans of new development or anything like that?
Well, we always have new... we have beer dinners. Lately, we didn't have one last month, but we have another one coming up. The one that we had before, I think, because we kind of made that one so big, we did a left-hand stone collaboration. So you had two
beer dinners.
Yeah. So you got 2 beers with each with each dish, and it was great. We were sold out. People loved all the beers, and they matched really well. So we had that one, and we always have another one coming up, and then we've started picking up pint nights. So you do some pork sliders that are usually have a different sauce that'll match with whatever beer. The first one that we did was the Two Brothers picking up pint night, and then we just did a dogfish one, and then we've also been doing popcorn pairings with beer.
It's the new thing.
Popcorn and beer.
Yeah, there was definitely some interesting and new ones that people were like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like where there was a Bananas Foster popcorn, and it was just awesome.
What'd you pair that with?
I don't remember off the top of my head which brewery we were doing at the time, But we've had 2 of those so far, and we throw on a movie. Like one of the ones, our first one we did Beer Wars, and so you just kind of people are just hanging out, same thing.
Chill
it's,
type of thing.
It's something a little less formal than a beer dinner, and you can just come hang out.
Right.
It's a little cheaper. You can just hang out with your friends.
But you try to do the beer dinners usually once a month, unless you're getting like totally epic.
Yeah, when we get a little burned out pushing that one,
like 20 courses. We were so 4 breweries.
Something crazy. No, but it's fun.
Well, that's great. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of fun and interesting things going on here. The place has really developed really fast. Only been open for a little bit over a year, and you've already, introduced all these people to beer that they've never had before. So cheers to you, and thanks for having us out here.
Yeah, and if you live in the area and you're already going to Two Brothers and Limestone, like you need to come over to
try some other stuff we got. We're not that far out of the city. You can hit 55 right out here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just make a day of it and make the rounds and hit all 3 locations. So thank you, and thanks for watching the Hopcast.